Hi and welcome to a new video. This time a car video. I probably will lose some subscribers by doing this, but I actually don't care. This is my channel and I'm doing whatever I want to do. So please come with me and take a ride with this Jimny. So welcome back to a new episode. Slightly off topic, but I think you will like it. And the reason we're doing a car video this time is that I got some requests from the viewers regarding what kind of car I'm driving in some of my videos. And the car, as you can see in the title, is a Suzuki Jimny. It's a 2020 version, and the version I'm driving is the SZ5. And that was the highest specs version in Europe or in Sweden. This version is not available anymore in Sweden or the Nordic. You can buy this car, but it's a commercial version today, so it has no back seat and it's a more stripped down version, you can say. This will be a 2-year review. We're going to sit in the car and go around in the countryside and talk about the car. We're going to take some videos outside and so on, and some cool B-roll, of course. So you can actually sit 4 in this car. Now you can sit 3 because I have a dog cage over there for our German Shepherd. And you can take that off easily and convert it in a 4-seater if you want. But to be honest, this is not a really good car for sitting 4 in. I think maximum is 2. And the reason I bought this car is that the family needed a second car. We actually had a second car before, a Volvo V40, but I sold that during the pandemic. And a couple of months after I sold it, we felt we needed a second car. And this car is not for everyone, you know. It's a lot of, technique from the 1980s. It's an old school kind of driving experience. So I think many people during 2020-19 bought this car and kept it for a half a year and then realized it's not the car for them. I have owned this car exactly 2 years now, so I bought it in 2020. Driving this car is fun. It's a very small car from the outside. As you can see, inside it's not that big, but it's quite large. It's lots of headroom, and you can actually drive 4 adults. This is the manual version, as you can see. I prefer that over the automatic version. The automatic gearbox is perfect if you do lots of off-road driving. The Jimny built in 2 countries. One version is built in India, and this version, the European version, is built in Japan. And actually the version in Japan, the SX5, is called Sierra. And the Jimny name in Japan is actually the K-car version. And the K-car version has a much smaller engine to comply with some kind of rules they have in the urban areas in Japan. The Jimny is really rare to see on the roads in Sweden. I don't know how many we have, but I think we have sold about 200 units a year since 2019, I believe. The Jimny community world is quite big, and there's lots of forums and Facebook groups all over the world. And Instagram is just bombarded with Instagram users, including me. So you can follow this car in Instagram as Jimny in Sweden. And to be honest, I don't really post anything that much, but you can check that out if you want. So here you have the screen, but I turned it off this time because otherwise it will flicker the screen and the video will be quite annoying to see. And it's a really old school navigation system, and the radio, it's okay, but it's nothing special. And then let's talk some quality about this car. I mean build quality. It's a cheap car, no dolls, but it's really well built. It's really well built car. No rattle, nothing at all. Now we're gonna pass this cyclist here, and we do it like this. Okay. So of course lots of cheap plastic, but it's really well built, so it doesn't really matter. If you're going to buy one thing extra for this car, that must be extra rust protection, because this car has of course rust protection, but it's not that great. So if you're driving in the winter, you will need it, because otherwise it will be rust underneath. Lots of accessories was bought to this car during the pandemic that I installed. The roof rack, auxiliary lights, reversing camera was installed, and so on. As I said, the community is quite big, so you can find lots of information how to do things on the internet, of course. So it's a really fun project to have. It's quite common that people are using lifting kits to raise the car like 5 inches. But the chassis is untouched in this car, it's not lifted, it's all original. Driving this car around the city areas is really fun. It's nice, it's easy, it's a small car. The steering is perfect. It's okay, it's not perfect, but it's not that bad that some people said. Actually, there's lots of reviews out there that's talking down this car because it's an old school car, but I don't think they get the concept of the car. And going for long trips is okay. I've done it a couple of times. For me, this car speed limit it's around 120 kilometers an hour. I'd rarely go over there. And the reason to that is you need to pay attention to the road all the time. Especially if it's windy condition, you need to be on your mind when you're driving that car so fast. Regarding the fuel economy, I have no idea. It's not that important to me, and I don't drive that car this much. But of course, if you're going to work with this car every day, I think you can choose a better car for fuel economy, definitely. As I said, lots of cyclists. Hi. This kind of road suits this car very well. It's a narrow car, and if you need to go out in the grass, no menos problemos. It's just go there. So one con of this car is safety, of course. So this is not a great car to crash with. I really don't know the Euro NCAP's result, but I think it's not great. For me, that's not a really important thing because I don't drive this car that much. But if you do, or pendling with this car to your work every day, I think you will find better cars for that reason. So let's talk about the pros for this car. For me, the number one pro is the look. It's a really special look, and it's a design that will last many years to come. And if you get hold of this car, the second pro is of course the aftermarket price for this car. You know, if you buy this at the dealer, and you will definitely sell it with a profit. Here in Sweden you can't go off-roading in the nature, that is forbidden. But we have lots of smaller roads in this country that you can go to. So now I will quit talking and we're going to see some footage of this car. We're going to also take a tour on the outside and look at all the accessories and the modification I've done to this car. Okay, let's park this car and go to the outside and talk about its modifications and accessories, including the roof rack. So let's turn off the key there and go out. So here it is. And now we're just talking about the accessories and modifications, not the original parts. To start with, we have the turn signals, and that's a Chinese or Japan version, clear with LED dim lights. Also the lower dim lights is changed, and that was bought from Jimny style, and this one was bought AliExpress, I guess. I don't remember. I'm gonna put all the links to the stores and online retailers in the descriptions down below, you know, so you can find it out there. And here we have the turn signal. It's a LED light, and this is the smoked version. Yeah, I believe it's also a clear version available. Continue with lights. So here in the back we have LED lights as well. I'm gonna cut in some footage of them working right now, so you can see how they're looking when they are on. Also bought in the Jimny store called Jimny Style. It's an online retailer from UK. And let's continue up here. So here's the head auxiliary light, manufacturer Strand. And the side auxiliary lights is from Osram. We have two on each side. And at the back, this is not reversing lights. It's a part of the auxiliary lights. So when this come on the side, this will also, I will cut in footage of the lights in action. And you can steer those lights with a remote control. I'm going to show you in the car where it is. So here we have the remote controls for the lights, one for front and one from the back and rears. And you can also have different patterns for the strobe effect. So that was the light part. So let's continue with the tires. So this is the off-road tire that I changed. So it's a BF Goodrich. Really common off-road tire. Highly recommend this one. So some other accessories mounted. And this recover hooks from Gear America. One on the front and of course one at the rear. And the recovery hooks are mounted on plates. It's just that one is mounted on, if you can see that plate over there. So you need to have that bracket, otherwise it will not work. Okay, let's go for another ride and let's talk about winter driving. So when this car is delivered in, at least for Sweden, it's including all season tires that are really shit ones. So the first thing you want to do is to change those. So I bought some really good off-road tires that I saw on many YouTube videos in the US that appraised them for winter driving. And I must say, the first season in Sweden, I think it was the winter of 2020-21, it's a lot of snow, not that much ice where I lived, and was doing great actually. But during the last winter season here in Sweden, we had lots of ice, and I really felt those tires was not enough. So I bought winter tires for this car with spikes, and I actually must admit it was really great to do that, because The last season we had here in Sweden, it was lots of ice, at least where I live, and those tires did a great job. So you probably would need a set of winter tires if you live in the Nordics. Another great thing with this car is the visibility. You have lots of big windows all around, so you have a good, almost a 360 view around the car all the time. Another great thing with this car is the sitting position. The seats are quite okay. Nothing special about them, they're doing their job, and the sitting position is upright. So you have this commanding position of driving, so it's quite nice experience. You see the hood and you see the back, and it's a great experience. So I had this car for 2 years now, and I'm really liking this car even more today than for 2 years ago. So it's a really nice car, it's well built, it's nice to drive, and it's great looking. That sound that you can hear is the crash cam. Is it called crash cam? Dash cam. That is the dash cam sound, warning sound of the speeding cameras. But you know, if you're owning a Jimny, you will never get any speeding tickets with this car, I believe. This is not a fast car, but it's not that slow. You can actually keep up with the pace in the traffic. Second gear. Third gear. So will I keep this car? Yeah, I will keep it. Will I sell it in the future? Maybe, if Suzuki came up with a new engine, maybe a hybrid version, I will sell it and switch to that. But otherwise I will keep it. Okay, now we're going to do a sound isolation or a noise level test of this car. As you can see, I have a Sennheiser Ambeo smart headset. It's an Ambisonic microphone and headset. So it's 2 microphones that are going to pick up the sound as I hear it when I'm driving the car. So you will hear the same. And I'm going to tell you what kind of speed we are in. And I will put this phone down now on the seat here beside me. And while I'm driving, we're going to see the footage from the dash cam video. So let's go. Okay. As you can hear, now we're going in 40 kilometers an hour, and you can hear the air conditioner is pumping on because it's 27 degrees outside, so you will hear the aircon quite well, I guess. And we're reaching 50 now, and they have the 4th gear, and now we are in 50 kilometers an hour, and we're switching to 5th gear. We're doing so in a couple of more seconds, and now we're going to increase the speed, and we are at 70 right now, and this is, and now the wind noise from the outside is taking over the engine noise, and we are about kilometers an hour. Back, and this is an hour. And now we're turning back and going back where we came from. That was a noise and sound test for this Jimny. So let's take another look on the outside, and we're gonna take a closer look at the roof rack, including its accessories. So here in the back you have this RotopaX system mounted on the spare wheel. Just doing so and click that off, really easy. Just this box is a toolbox. And also on the back you have this ladder from IPF. And here's on the side is the mounting plate for backlights. So it's going to be auxiliary backup light when I have the time to do that. And of course a shovel on the side and a bike mounting plate for a mountain bike. Also up here you have the front runner boxes. And of course a jerry can and some recovery stuff. So thanks for watching this episode, and if you made it this far into this video, and if you don't already do, please subscribe. And if you like this content, please tell me and I will do more car videos in the future. As always, thanks for watching and see you in the next episode. Bye!